Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rhonda, if you're new here. We are headed out to the back of the property. There is a tree that we had storms 2 days ago, and the breeze got like really breezy. And one of the trees over by the pond fell over. So Scott took the tractor last night and pulled it out of the pond. And I tried to film it, but it was too dark. Like my camera wasn't picking it up. So I thought, I grabbed my gloves. I got my tripod. I thought I would show you what the garden looks like because the last 2 nights we've had frost. So I thought I would give you a quick peek of that, and then we would go out and help Scott cut up the tree that he pulled out of the pond last night or the day before. I can't remember. And then I would show you around the fruit orchard and stuff like that, because I don't show you guys that side of the property very often. So let's go see the garden. So like I said, the last 2 nights we've had frost. So everything is looking grim. I have a couple of tomatoes in here, that need to get pulled, the little cherries. I like to use these for pasta, like that pasta bake where you put the cheese and the tomatoes and the basil or whatever, or not basil, spinach, and you put them in the oven. That's really good. Like these are all, I'm going to have to pick what I can, what is blushing, and then these are all going to have to get pulled. They're just done. They've gone through their growing process and now they are ready to say goodbye. Look at all the cherry tomatoes. These little plants have just bombed out the cherry tomatoes this year. They have just produced and produced and produced. And I don't know, I'm going to have to, there's a tag down there. Let me see if I can grab it quick. It is Sweet 100. Let's see what it says. Oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to read that. I'm going to have to put my glasses on to read that. Hang on. Well, it doesn't say much. It says indeterminate tomato, Sweet 100, cage or stake, 24 to 36 inches apart, ripens on the vine, height 4 to 6 inches tall, maturity 65 days, fruit size 1 inch, keep well watered. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those plants. So if you want a cherry tomato plant that pumps them out, get Sweet 100. I think this is a Sweet 100 too. These are aromas and they are done. I might pick some of the green ones off. One of my girlfriends from Instagram told me, take your green tomatoes and put them into a box with a banana and they will ripen. Look at the size of that marigold. Isn't that so pretty? The Bliss tomatoes were big producers too. It's just like a yellow Roma and they're super sweet. Here is some more marigolds. I tell you, this garden has gone absolutely bonkers. Over here is the Brussels sprouts. And I haven't picked any yet. I am just so far behind on the chores in the garden. That cucumber has to go. All the dill has now turned into dill seed. So I'm going to pick a bunch and save it for next year. And plus this will self-seed, I'm sure. More Brussels sprouts. Here's some more marigolds. I am going to definitely seed save from these. They're so pretty. Over here are all the potatoes that need to get dug up yet, so we will do that. I've been pulling carrots and beets, and we've been eating them fresh from the ground. Oh, I love this way. Normally, I would just pull all of the carrots and try and store them, and then they would get like rubbery and wrinkly. But man, let me tell you, keeping them in the ground and then just using them as you need them is like such a good way to store them. Oh, look at there. Well, hello, little buddy. Hi. You stay there if you want to. Yeah, you can stay there. So that is a great way to keep carrots. And then I have some beets in here. We've been eating beets so much that I think these, and I might have some golden beets right here. Yep. Oh, Scott is starting up the chainsaw, so I better make this quick. Let's see, a bunch of basil yet that I will pull. And then this tomato plant here. Over here is all of the sweet potatoes, which the weeds have completely overtaken. So I will just have to dig those up. And then back there is, let me see if I can, that is all my butternut squash back there. So that will have to be dug out or pulled, dug out and pulled. And then I will have to put all that butternut squash on the shelves. Hello, Roy. Crazy Lisa. She's the one with the white fluffy hair. She's named after my best friend. All right, let's go see what Scott is up to. So, like I said, Scott pulled this tree out of the pond and he's gonna cut it up and he's gonna put it on the trailer, and then we're gonna give it to his dad because his dad has some kind of wood that Scott wants, oak or something like that. So we're gonna trade. So we're gonna go and cut this tree up. And I thought, well, I may as well show you guys everything back here because I don't take you back here that often. We haven't really done a lot on this part of the property other than like mowing the grass. Last year we cut down the willows and the willows all grew back. I'll show you. And then we planted a bunch of fruit trees back here. So I will walk you through the orchard too and just kind of give you an update. We are waiting for fall and then we are just going to kind of mow everything down. There's a bunch of like leftover dock material that the old owner had in this pond and he just tore out and kind of left lay. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you everything. That tree right there, eventually, I think pretty much almost all of these trees are gonna go and we are gonna plant new ones little by little. But all of this brush, there's part of a tree that fell down last year that we need to get cleaned up. I think I wanna keep this tree just for the simple fact that it's big and old. And then just kind of stick in some pine trees and other trees along the bank of this pond. This will all get mowed down eventually. There's kind of like a path that goes in between the ponds. So we have the duck and geese pond right there. And then it comes to this path and you can go straight back there where Scott is, or you can go to the right. And it's just kind of like a little, you walk out, it's like a little island almost. And it takes you back to, the sun. And it takes you back there to the cornfield. So there is the duck and goose pond right there. And then there is another pond over here. And they're both very, very shallow. So they get this like green algae. There's a name for it. Scott skims it and then saves it for the garden because it's great fertilizer. So this is the other pond. I think this tree right here will probably be taken down eventually. And then right here is where the tree fell in. So Scott basically just hooked it up to the tractor and pulled it out, and now we're gonna cut it up and throw it in the back of the trailer. But this pond here is really shallow too, and it gets like that green. What is that green stuff called that grows on the pond, babe? Oh, he's got earplugs in. He can't hear me. I have to walk up to him. But this, like, remember, was it last year, I think, we cut down all of these willows, and look at how much that they've, look at how much that they've grown back. So we will have to get the DR trimmer in here and trim them all back, because this is the pond that I want to plant in wildflowers. someday. I want the whole circle of the pond planted in wildflowers. Wouldn't that be so pretty? All right, let's take you back into the fruit grove. Okay. What is the green stuff on top of the pond called that grows?
Duckweed.
Duckweed. And that's what we skim and we're going to put in the garden for fertilizer, right?
Yeah, we can feed it to the chickens. It's just a little floating pond weed.
Oh, feed it to the chickens too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, before you start up the chainsaw, are you waiting for me because I'm filming? Okay. I just want to walk everybody through the fruit grove. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Thanks, pal. So at the end of the trail, here, let me back up. At the end of the trail, you can either go to the right and that goes into the back, or you can go to the left like this, and it brings you into where we have a bunch of trees planted. Now, last summer when we planted the trees, all of these willows were cut down. So we have a peach tree right there and a peach tree right there. And then I think this one over here is a pear tree. So we will come through with the grass hog or the DR trimmer or whatever that thing is called that cuts down. What is it called? A grass hog, I think. And we'll come through and we'll cut down all of this stuff. We'll come through and weed whack all of this, cut all of these. Look at these willows. They are so aggressive, you guys. They grow so fast. They are almost as tall. They're up to my shoulder. And they were all cut down last fall. So they grew this big in one season. They're huge. Let me see if I can back up here. See, they're up to my shoulder. Isn't that crazy how fast they grow? And they're super invasive. So they just keep, they have roots that they do underground, and then they pop up all over the place. So it's been a challenge to keep this all under control. We'll come through and weed whack and clean all of the trees out. But there it starts. There is a tree. This was a little cherry tree, and I don't think that it made it. It's looking pretty bare. So we'll have to get a replacement for that. And then we have, I think this is an apple tree. And then we have a bunch planted back here. We kept this spot open. There was a tree there that we cut down, and there was a tree there that we cut down. They were just like those box elder trees. But we want to keep this space open because we want to get bees again. And if we get bees, we'll put them in this open spot, and they'll be right by the pond, and then they'll get all the fruit tree blossoms in the beginning of the season. There's a tree. I think that might be a pear or a plum. That might be a plum, and this one might be a pear. But look at that view. Isn't it so pretty? I can't wait to start spending time out here. There's a tree. There's a tree. There's a tree. Oh, there's a tree. Now I'm going to turn and get into the sun. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, you guys. So all the way back, we want to have it to that opening. That's where we just walked from. Right there. We want to fill this with fruit trees. And then the bees will be right in that area there. And then the pond is right there. And we'll have rocks and stuff in there for the frogs and the turtles and the bees so they can get drinks of water in the spring. So yeah, this will all get cleared out again. Oh, it was a big job, you guys. We put that big brush hog behind the tractor and we mowed these suckers down. Oh, I have a little friend. Come on, Mal. Come on, Mama. They like to be where we are. When we're outside, they're right next to us. Come on, Mama. All right. I'm going to stop talking now, and we are going to get to work so we can get this tree cut up tonight yet before it gets dark. Scott is measuring out the piece size, the size of the pieces. What are you doing in there, silly girl? Were you looking for mice and frogs, huh? What were you doing in there, Mama? Hi. Hi, baby. This is Molly. She came with the property. She is No Tail's sister. She has a big tail. No Tail's tail was like that the first year we moved in, but it was super fuzzy. And then it got frostbite and fell off. But this is her sister. And we named her Molly. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, baby girl. She just wants her belly scratched. She's pretty. And just like that, you guys, the tree is all cleaned up. That was fast work. So now we're going to bring the branches over to the burning pit, and we're gonna drop them off, and then we will take the rest of the wood up north to Scott's dad. This is the back side of the DZ. See those rocks right there? That's when we started cleaning out the DZ. Someday this will all be garden. There will be a hoop house and a little greenhouse, and this will all be fenced in. Oh, I can't wait. One little project at a time. The leaves are falling. The path is covered in leaves. There's a chill in the air. It gets dark like at 6 o'clock now. Oh, but yeah, we were just right there. And that is the path we were on. And that goes back into the pines. Cattails are starting to pop. It's a beautiful night. Here is little No Tail, the one I was talking about when I was out on the path with Molly. She is a fluffier version. Hello, little mama. She's so sweet. See her tail? Hi, baby. Hi. She is the sweetest little thing. And then Lucky is right there. And I think she is a sister too, even though she has different coloring, or maybe not. But he got them at, I think, the Humane Society, and then when they left, they got to stay here with us. So now we get to love on them and take care of them and enjoy their company all the branches and the brush are unloaded and in the fire pit, and it is all cleaned up, and I am so glad that that task is done. I think I made a movie. Scott got these rocks from a friend up north for free, so we made a huge fire pit, because you know, when you buy a fixer-upper or you're doing fall cleanup, there is always brush. There's always something that needs to get burned, and a little fire pit just doesn't cut it. So we made this big one for now, I guess. Who knows? It might look different in a couple of years once we have all the trees trimmed. Will that be done in a couple of years? Who knows? Well, you guys, that's it for tonight's video. I know it probably wasn't very educational or very entertaining, but it's a good way for us to document the things that we do here on this property and how the property looked, because someday that is going to look completely different. There will be different trees, there will be flowers, there will be wildlife and bat houses and wren houses, and there will be a garden out there, and there will be fruit trees and bees. So it is a good documentation for us. So if you stayed until the end, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love that you're here. I love that you comment. I love that we get to spend time together, and I look forward to spending time with you again. But until then, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you are enjoying the beautiful fall weather, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, friends.